All right, Willie, it's time to wrap this up. So we need to talk about future projections. So what do you see? And there is a big concern. It's like everybody and their mother, including yourself and myself, are seeing the perfect buy zone in the low $40,000 range, something between 39 and 41.5, and
Hmm.
everyone is waiting for it. Everyone is looking at it. I know I have my limit orders set in that zone. You have that as a potential floor as well. So the first question is, how likely are we to hit that zone of the very low $40,000 range? And if everyone is waiting for it, what does that mean? Does it mean we're now less likely to hit it? Does it mean we're more likely to overshoot it to the downside and maybe fall down to the $35,000 range? What are your views on the current pullback?
Well, first I'll qualify this. I'm not an oracle. I'm just bounding sort of demand supply, and I've got models around the extreme range. Um, I see everyone looking in that zone. All the technical indicators point to that zone. On-chain points to that zone. Whenever I see stuff like that, I think that it's going to be front run because the framing around it is um, buying pressure as this thing detoxes from speculative FOMO. So the buying pressure is strong. I think we've got 1 to 3 days left in the downward move before this thing completely resets. 1 to 3 days. I think it's going to struggle to get down to the 40,000. Could happen. If everyone's thinking that, I'm thinking. Um, Oh, you moved it. Like, can you zoom? I was just going to show something. Like, do you
Oh,
remember the?
I grabbed your screen share off. I can go. I can let you take screen share back.
Okay, like share screen, share. No, don't, just can you zoom out on your chart? I'll talk to it. Oh, gone.
Yeah,
Right.
I'll just use my chart then. Right. So I am also looking for 3 days out because that would coincide with my MRI. We have already dropped a few $1,000s in the last several
Yeah. So,
hours. So
so
we're
like
making new lows right now.
last time I saw everyone really saying CME gap. It's going to fill the CME gap. Back in, I was at 9,600, and I just saw a shite pile of bids in that zone on the order books. Got totally front run, and I'm seeing that right now. The order books is it's thick with bids in that 40 to 39 zone. So for myself, I'm not trading the short time frame stuff. I'm trading on chain demand and supply. So as it's coming down, I'm just costing in. I'm like adding and adding as it drops, and because I don't know how low it's going to go. I'm not a short time frame. I'm not glued to the screen. I spend my day modeling and doing, modeling makes me sound like a model. I spend most of the day doing, quantitative models and stuff like that. So, like, I don't know how low it's going to go. So I'm like, I always ask myself, I think it's going to go this direction. And I always ask myself, what if I'm wrong? And so, like, I'm like going, what if it reverses? I think we've got 1 to 3 days of more downside. What if I'm wrong and it breaks out? And if it breaks out, it's going to be a short squeeze. And so I'm just buying in so that when it breaks, I've got my position, at least some of my position on. So I'm buying and I'm continuing to buy as this thing goes. And if it hits that 39,000 zone, I'll probably, I'll spam the green button.
All right, so I'm going to add my commentary here. So right now, for me, the new breakout zone is the top of today's body, but it cannot go back there today. So this is for future days. So we have about 9 hours to go in today's market. I do not really expect us to close above $46,000 today. If anything, I expect us to close below 44,000. But this right here is my upcoming breakout area where this arrow starts to take effect. Now, my perfect buy zone right now is not necessarily price-based. It is more time-based. So my perfect buy zone will be the middle of next week when we are hitting an MRI bottom. Now, ideally, I would be able to pick it up on a giant swing low. But as we said earlier, because everyone is looking for something in the $39,000 to $41,000 range, I would probably be setting my limit orders to buy in the $42,000 range. As Willy said, there might be a potential of people front running the expectation of the very low 40,000s. So to play it safe, getting in at 42,000 may not be a bad idea. But if the price of Bitcoin closes below 40,000 on a daily chart and it goes past my MRI low, I would then be expecting a potential double MRI bottom, taking us all the way down to 35. But I still see this low $40,000 area as a decent buy zone. Okay, so that covers the pullback. Now, what about the upside, Willy? What are you looking at right now? Because for me, because we did not reach my initial buy target of the low $60,000 range, we came up just short. We went up to 58, didn't make it to the mid 60s. That's what I was looking for before a correction and then more upside. I now pretty much up my target because the moment we find this bottom over the next sometime in March or at worst April, but probably early March, I do believe we find a bottom and start to go up. Where do you see a potential top? Right now, I am looking into the mid 70s, if not low 80s, before a more substantial correction to potentially take us below 40.
Okay, so I've got a model around that, and I'm trying to pull it up here. I won't show it. Won't need to. But
so okay, Willy, I'll give the screen share back to you. So many people are asking us about Ethereum, guys. I couldn't care less about Ethereum. I don't know how much Willy cares about Ethereum. You can invest in Ethereum all you like, but eventually it will just stop functioning because it's technology that just can't scale. And if you don't understand why Ethereum can't scale, you should have no business holding Ethereum. That's my view. I have never held a single Ether, and I never plan to because I understand how Ethereum functions. So I have zero desire to ever hold it. I will just stick to Bitcoin.
Ethereum for me is a tradable asset. I swing trade it. It's really nice to swing trade because it moves. It's got a lot of beta, isn't it? The price Bitcoin moves up. It can move up more in the right setup, and it's highly liquid. So I know a lot of whales and prop funds and hedge funds. They swing in and out of Bitcoin and Ethereum because it can take it. Ethereum can take that capital. It's very liquid. Probably the second most, I think it is by far the second most liquid tradable asset. So you want to slosh value between the two buckets. If you're in a sideways band and maybe alt season is swinging upwards because you can't leverage Bitcoin in a sideways band, then you typically Ethereum tends to explode in that zone. So that's a nice asset you can pour hundreds of millions of dollars into if you're managing the amount of money. So I see it like that. It's really this bucket. It's built enough Lindy effect, liquidity, wallet infrastructure, enough mind share, enough like institutional investors, enough like noobs coming in. Should I buy Ethereum? So like it's an investable asset in that regard, and when I say investable, like within a shortish bullish
it's a
phase of the market.
Willy, sorry, I'll correct you. It's a tradable asset. It's not an investable asset.
It's a swing tradable asset within a phase of a bull market. In terms of, I'm agreeing with you in terms of the technology. I've looked at it, and I have friends that looked into it that are much more technical than me. It's really, I'd be very, very surprised. I think I'd have to pull a rabbit out of the hat. Maybe they can do it. But like, if we're talking about building the platform which we're going to build the world finance on, I don't think so. So, yeah, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I could talk to it, but if that fails, and I think it will, what we're left with is the new Litecoin, essentially the silver to Bitcoin gold that we'll swing into, and it's certainly liquid. And so I think of it as a secondary monetary asset, and it might continue for a long, long time if it fails as the world compute engine for derivative contracts or creating tokens or whatever you want to talk about. Anyway, back to the topic of price targets on the upside. Oh gosh, I think that the next fib we're gonna clear the 55, 56, 55 $1 trillion dollar cap resistance. Next fib target is 63,000, 73 thereafter. I think we can get through that. I've got a model around that.
We're not on any screen share right now. If you did want to show something, go.
No, just talking to it. Yeah, I think that we've got potential to hit that 73, 75 zone. I think that we're really due for a top, a proper top, but not sure. I really don't know. We might just continue doing these waves. This is the second wave we've had. The first one was fundamental. The second one we're seeing is speculative. Maybe we just keep doing these sort of waves all the way up. Right now, my target, my upper bound is 70. Let's say $71,000 is what we can hit, and that's climbing all the time. It's very similar to the. It's just another model that I've got. It's based on the same inputs as the floor model, looking at capital flows, moving into the network between investors. But that's climbing. So yeah, it's really I don't know yet. Like the way I look at this market with the models that I have, we hit our first top in $42,000, and we pulled back. That was the first top of this 21, the 21 bull market. So right now we're just moving up to our next top, and I don't know what that's going to be, but yeah, let's say 75,000 right now. Maybe it'll go higher.
Okay, so here's the big question. You and I are both pretty bullish on this cycle. I mean, I have a more realistic upper target than many people. My upper target on this bullish swing is about 150,000. Most people have it upwards of 250 to 300. And by bullish cycle, I mean the ultimate top before the next halving.
Oh, okay. I'm talking about the next few months.
Right.
Okay.
No. We're getting there. So I am also assuming your target is upwards of 200,000 on the current 4-year halving cycle. I think that's safe to assume that because I've read your newsletter. But the question is, after your current shorter term target of in the 70s, how likely do you think we are to then swing lower than the current low we would achieve before? So for example, say we turn around right now from $42,000 and we go to the mid 70s. Do you foresee a drop below 40,000 before the push next year to 150 to 300,000?
Yeah, it's not going below 40,000. I'd say that with 99% certainty. It's I would like. It's going to be high. I think that we're bounded in this bull cycle. If it's not all-time high, if we haven't hit the all-time high for the macro cycle top, we're in a range of 33% pullback on daily closes. So if we hit the If we hit 75,000, then 50,000 is the bottom, according to that.
Got it. So you would be looking for a higher low once we hit that 70s range. You don't put much percent chance on a sub 40 before the ultimate breakout this cycle.
Yeah, and that's not just guessing. That's with these models I've got, and it's like we had last time. I think it was 44%. I put in the newsletter 44% pullback in the bull market of 2017 on daily closes using this model. It was 66% in the 2013 cycle. So far, we're looking like 33% is this for 2017. And if you run a trend line across all of those, it's showing 33%. So if we hit 75,000, probably 50,000 is going to be the floor. If we hit 100,000, maybe 66%. 66,000 is the floor at that point. So something like that.
All right, I think that's a good way to end it. I'm just going to pull up screen share one more time. As you guys can see, I will be very, very curious what Bitcoin does 3 days from now, because we will be hitting the MRI bottom for a potential buying opportunity unless we reverse right away right now. That's pretty much my outlook. The weekly is about to end. That is a disastrous week, but we're still in a nice bullish uptrend on a weekly scale. Short term, that is a nice rebound candle. I do not put that much emphasis on this candle, considering how much we dropped in the last 3 hours. I am still looking for slightly lower prices over the next 3 days, and then we will see from there. All right, guys. Once again, I've been joined by the one and only Willy Woo. You can follow him on Twitter as Woonamik. Dude, you broke 300,000 followers. That's amazing.
Thank you. I have no idea why, because I wasn't even tweeting. No, I know why, because retail has arrived, actually. Retail has arrived.
That's really, really good. I mean, like, I can't pick up a sub on neither Twitter nor YouTube to save my life, but that's all good. Check out Willy's website, charts.woobull.com. It's woobull.com, but the important part is, of course, the charts at woobull.com. And also check out his newsletter. The link is in the video description, willywoo.substack.com. This is more general overviews. You put these out approximately every 2 weeks, and they're not that easy, right? You put a lot of work into this. Probably takes you about, 2 days to write one of these things?
Yeah, between 6 and 14 hours to do this. A lot of it is data visualization. Sometimes it ends up in code to clean up the charts. But yeah, and then of course, all the stuff I do in the week just to work on new models.
All right, and I am, of course, Tone Vays. You can check out my website, tonevays.com, and I have some on-demand videos for trading education. Prices finally went up. I lowered prices for Black Friday in November, and finally, 3 months later, finally raised it. Those interested in trading the MRI indicator can find it, of course, right here. There's also a free tutorial for Learn Trading with a bunch of links. And I do have to mention the Financial Summit. We are looking to move this from Bali to Zanzibar because freedom reigns in Zanzibar and Tanzania, but not Indonesia. And it's going to be great. Hopefully, Hong Kong will end its quarantine on the way back. And Willy Woo would, of course, be able to join us along with other notable names. It's going to be an amazing event. So keep an eye on the Financial Summit website, thefinancialsummit.com, where we will give you more information. Also, Unconfiscatable. I have too many conferences. Unconfiscatable, we're still trying to get it into Miami, and I will have a big update on this next week, whether it will or won't happen. I doubt Willy Woo would be joining us for this one. It's a little too soon, and the world is still in quarantine, but all the US guys should be there, like Jimmy Song and Max Kaiser. All right. On this note, I'm going to go ahead and end it. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Please don't get scammed by fake Tone Vases. I got to do these public service announcements, or by fake Willy Woos. I'm sure they are everywhere. If I do not give away my phone number, I've already been SIM swapped. So I go out of my way not to give a phone number, and I tell people that use WhatsApp to use Telegram and hit me up by a username. I do not reach out to strangers and offer them any kind of investment services. So please do not get scammed. I know someone that got scammed for 50 grand and at least a dozen people for between $1,000 and $3,000 by fake tone vases. And there's nothing I can do about this. I'm sorry, guys. Please be smart. All right. Thank you all so much for watching, and see you all on the next one. Closing thoughts, Willy. Anything else?
Yeah, if you see a fake Willy Woo on Twitter, please report them, or them, or whatever that bot is. It's just getting a bit right. So we've got to do our role here and report all the stuff. It's scam season. So yep. Stay safe, everybody. Buy the dip. Yeah, don't freak out.